In the previous videos, I already explained what Hex was and what it did. And now I'm going to go over the two different versions of Hex. So on the Ethereum side, you got eHex, and on the Pulse chain side, you got Hex, but people like to call it pHex, just to separate the two. So on the Ethereum side, that was actually the first version of Hex. So before it was called eHex, it was actually called Hex before Pulse chain came out. So before Pulse chain came out, everybody had all their stakes on the Ethereum side, but you had to have Ethereum to take Hex out of lockup. So eHex and pHex are really the same coins, they're just on different chains. Now, even though I said they're the same coins, they're still at different prices because of the different chains that they're on. Now, this is the part where we go on to the eHex versus pHex narrative. Now, people are choosing sides and debating which hex is going to be more valuable. Now, most people said pHex is going to be more valuable, which makes sense because Pulse chain is a better chain. You're paying way less gas fees. But at the same time, people are down to eHex. People are thinking that eHex is going to fall, while pHex is the only thing that matters, labeling it the Hex Civil War. See, when you receive the free copies of the coins on the Pulse chain side, they started off with no value, and just like I talked about in the Pulse Hex video, people was bridging in their eHex to give their value to pHex. So Hex on the Pulse side can have value, and they was doing the same thing to all the other coins as well. So because of this mindset, people was in fear of their eHex bags and started selling them, and started going over to the Pulse side. And pHex started being more expensive than eHex. And it gets even worse. And now we have this whole controversy with the guide whale. And those who don't know who the guide whale is, he's one of the biggest holders of the Hex supply. And he sacrificed a huge amount of eHex to this project called BankX. And people started jumping to conclusions that BankX was a scam, and they started dumping more of the eHex bags. So now pHex is literally double the price of eHex. So now what about the Maximus DAO project that I mentioned earlier? So even though people try to separate the two versions, Maximus DAO came up with a solution that had the two versions working together. So we got eHex and pHex, and now we got